How's it going, guys? This is Legendary Nats coming at you again, guys. Hopefully the audio sounds a little bit better. I've had to try to play around with my mic a little bit, but this is the finale episode, guys. And we're going to be taking care of a few loose ends along with finishing up the game. And I have to say, for the most part, I've absolutely enjoyed this game. Playing it with you guys. Dark Souls, the entire series, is by far one of my favorite franchises of all time. There are not many games that I could sit there and say that. It's really hard. If I have to say, it's in my top 5, hands down, the entire series. You know, Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, and what I've played of Demon Souls. I plan on playing through Demon Souls, so don't get me wrong. But here we have to end our friend Hawkeye Goth. Man, I'll let you know, every time I play through a Souls game, I tend to kill all the NPCs, unless you play Bloodborne, and then all the NPCs die, basically. So, when it comes to a Dark Souls game, I tend to always try to kill all the NPCs, because, you know, they have specific gear a lot of times, like with Goth here. And his awesomeness, he actually has a unique armor that you can get from him, which is his armor. And I love his armor set. It looks so cool, in my opinion. And it sucks, man. There are a few of these guys who we end up killing that I just cannot stand. Like, I do not like killing the Fair Lady. Fair Lady is one of my favorite Dark Souls characters of all time. Just to let you know, I really, really, really do not like killing her. I don't like killing the giant blacksmith. He's definitely another one. And then, of course, our boy Andre. I cannot stand killing him. He's just too good of a character. I'm just being honest with you. But now you'll see that we have his armor. I'm also doing post commentary if you haven't noticed, and so if you want to read the item descriptions of any of the items in here, then feel free. But you'll actually find in Goth's helmet where it talks about that it's covered in tree resin. See, Goth thought he lost his eyesight. If you look at his helmet, you'll see in his eye slots that there's something covering it. And then, of course, he was locked inside of the big giant's tower. And that's all because humans hated giants. It was discrimination completely. And then we kill Elizabeth. Now, I'll try to be quiet whenever there are unique dialogues are going on. Elizabeth has a very weird ending dialogue after she dies. She does that. Oh. Some of the voice acting in this game can get me. Like, anytime that you fight and you get hit and you go, oh, you know. And then one of the harder ones for me to kill. I do not like killing this guy. He's such a great character, but we have to kill him. And after you kill him and you get his hammer, you find out that the hammer that he was using was actually a wooden hammer. That he doesn't use a steel hammer, and obvious because he actually does lightning-based weapons. So, of course, if he used a metal weapon, it would have a negative reaction. And of course, he is a man of very few words. He does only say, nighty night. But his favorite thing was just to be able to craft in his trade and sit there and listen to us. And he actually calls us his good friend when you hand him the crystal ember. Man, it's so hard. It really is. Then we have Andre. He's got a unique fighting style. He's a straight up brawler.
Tear you to shreds, you bloody hollow.
And he dang near killed me here. He actually is pretty strong. I didn't expect him to be as strong as he was. But it's so sad to kill Andre, because he's been with us for so long.
You damn blacksmith.
So, because of that, we had to kill him. We took his hammer, and all the hammers, for the most part, will say that they need to be wielded by the person of their trade, so by a blacksmith. Now, some speedrunners actually like to utilize, I think, the hammer from, or like if you want to do like a level 1 run, like you can utilize the blacksmith hammer from Anorlando, the giant blacksmith hammer. Utilize that, and it's you can use that as your weapon. Then we have Vamos. We haven't really got to see much of Vamos because
Trying to cause trouble, are you? I am Vamos the blacksmith, and I'm no bag of bones.
I ended up losing that stuff,
Curses.
or that video, and he just splatters everywhere. But to actually get this helmet that we just got from him, you have to kill Vamos. There's no other way to be able to get this helmet at all. And it talks about it being a royal line coming from Anorlando. Vamos has been around for a very long time. Very, very long time. And then we kill our boy Dommel, unfortunately. I hated having to kill him because Dommel is always fun to talk to. He's right underneath the bridge. He has, and I whiff. He's the one that, of course, you buy the crystal weapons, but after you kill certain NPCs and bosses, you get their armor from him. I forgot that I didn't have any more power within right here. And we end up killing the boss lady. And some of these characters, I think, are kind of like gameplay courtesies. So killing all the blacksmiths because they're out in the open, it's hard for you to kill them because they are, behind locked cages. I think some of these are straight up gameplay courtesies. And then our fair lady. Gosh, I hate killing her. The Inyi is just freaking out.
Hey, you monster! The fair lady! What have you done? What have you done? Ah!
Yeah, unfortunately, we had to put to death a character who was already in a particular bad situation. She was already a tragic character to begin with, and I'm just doing terrible trying to kill this stupid maggot. But she was already in a position where things were challenging for her because she was deformed. She drank of the blight pus and she was dying. And then, of course, her sister, Quelana, I had to show her some respect because Quelana is such a great character.
Farewell, my mother, my sisters. What have you done?
Then we find our Justice Bro. I was checking to see if he had anything specific I could buy off of him, and he had Karmic Justice, which I didn't have enough, and I didn't feel like going out and farm, and I was like, well, I'll just get it in the next playthrough.
You're not welcome. Any result.
I do have to show him some respect, though. And I know my commentary is a little spacey here, but it's because I'm trying to collect my thoughts on finishing such a great game. In fact, I didn't really go full blast into his dialogue by fighting him. But I also forgot all about Patches. I didn't even remember him being here. And what I ended up doing, when I remembered that he was here, I went all out to go farm up enough souls to buy a particular item from him. which is you can't get it any other way other than through him.
What did I
And
do?
the guy drops it. And I should have looked that up, but I didn't. I did not look it up, which kind of frustrated me. But you know, it's whatever. Because Patches comes up there as a merchant after you finish his little quest line, and he's really expensive. And then we have Rickard, and I break my obsidian greatsword.
I have nothing more to say.
But this is where I kind of come to the realization that some of these characters are
Possible.
Why
didn't I see it?
placed in areas due to gaming convenience and courtesy. If you kill all the blacksmiths, well, you still have one blacksmith, which is Rickard. If you kill all the merchants, you still have one merchant, which is the merchant behind the cave or behind the bars as well. I think they did that as a gameplay. And also, if you kill all the firekeepers, you still have the firekeeper inside of Firelink. So I think they do that as a gameplay courtesy, just in case if you decide to go around and killing everyone. Which we did that, and now we satiate the Lord's flame with the Lord's soul to open up the door. Now I'll stop talking about all the other things, and we're going to focus on what's happening right now. We've satiated the Lord's flame, and we've opened the door to the kiln of the first flame. I become human because there is an NPC in here that I'd like to summon. Someone who we've worked so hard to finish their quest line. And now we're going to go talk to Frampt and see what he says.
Oh. The Lord Vessel is satiated. Magnificent. You are the righteous successor to Gwyn, the new great lord. And I am Kingseeker no more. Your acquaintance was an honor. I must admit, I am fond of you humans. May you enjoy serendipity, and may the Age of Fire perpetuate.
He is a Kingseeker no more.
Are you ready?
Going around for the past 100 years, trying to manipulate other undead, making them feel like they are the chosen undead, so that they can continue to satiate the Lord's flame, or the Lord Vessel, and continue the Age of Fire.
Frampt has told me of you, that you have agreed to link the fire. I thank you sincerely. Finally, the curse of the undead will be lifted, and I can die human. I am powerless, but I will do all that I can. Please, save us all. Please. Forgive me. I am impure.
She didn't have any new dialogue to really say, but even Frampt has been telling our firekeeper, Anastasia, that we're here to end the suffering of the undead, so that she can die as a human, which all in all is what everyone wants. Not many people, other than probably Laurentius, are excited to be undead. I mean, our character was thrown in jail right off the bat because we were undead. And now we make our way down, seeing ghostly images of the fallen Black Knights who came here along with Gwyn when he came to go and relight and rekindle the flame And we now have reached the kiln of the first flame. What time frame is it in? I don't know. It could be right after he has lit the flame, or it could be near the end of time. It's really hard to say. In fact, you could probably even think about it along the lines of how Dark Souls 3's DLC with the Ring City kind of breaks it down as well. But this place is just crazy, man. I really, really do like the aesthetic look with the ash on the ground. And then we have Black Knights everywhere. What we find out about the Black Knights is that they have been actually burned twice. When From Software wanted to create the Black Knights, Miyazaki-san has said in his interviews that the whole point of them at first was to be wandering enemies. So they would follow you and wander all throughout the game, but they didn't know how to actually program that in the game. So they found another way to try and do it, which was place them all over the place. So they placed all these different characters, or all these different knights all over the place. One, to give you a chance to possibly be able to get one of their overpowered weapons to be able to use, and two, just to, I guess, find a way to appease that setup, you know, having them wander. Because the Black Knights followed Lord Gwyn in two separate places. They probably followed him the entire time, and there is a difference between the Black Knights and the Silver Knights. The Black Knights followed him when the Witches of Izalith tried to recreate the first flame and ended up making the Chaos Flame. When they made the Chaos Flame, it erupted, which burned them the first time. And then they had to fight the demons. After that, they followed Lord Gwyn when he went to go rekindle the fire. And when he did that, it created a giant burst of flame as well that also burned them. That's why they have such a resistance to fire. They have some of the highest resistance to fire. Their armor is really good, especially if you wear it. It's really, really good armor. And then the Silver Knights, they stayed back to protect the false gods that were there, the ones that were the illusionary gods. Guinevere, for one, along with Smo, because Smo was the only one left. And he wasn't even a knight. Smo, and I haven't really touched up upon this, but Smo was actually a cannibal who was, I guess you can just say, who was a companion who was aiming to become one of the knights, but because he was a cannibal and his lust for flesh kind of turned them away from allowing him to become a knight. And I'm pretty certain Smo didn't even know about Ornstein not even being there and him being an illusion as well. Or he may have, who knows. But they were left behind because they had a duty to protect Guinevere, the Sun Princess. And that's why they stayed behind. And a good portion of them are illusory as well. So that's where I see is the difference between them. I think they both kind of had their allegiances in different camps. And of course, I think that Guinevere left because, you know, she did marry the flame god Flynn. But I think a lot of them started leaving, especially after Gwyn left to go rekindle the flame. And I think it even says that in a couple of item descriptions. So all we can really do now is just continue making our way, killing off each of these Black Knights. Now, if you want to be able to get the Black Knight weapons and to be able to get the special weapons trophy, or achievement for Dark Souls 1, you have to collect all of their weapons. I did not, so there's a couple of weapons like the axe and the halberd that I'll have to collect, but you can collect them all here because they're constantly, respawning. And then we'll end up actually taking on the man in the myth himself. But we see over here the description behind the Black Knights, explaining, that they were burned twice from those flames. And all in all, I think what ends up boiling this down the best, other than the fact that we're about to summon our Sunbro, Solaire, but I think what boils this down the best is the fact that this is a curse. This is our fate. And we look down there and there's Gwyn himself. But this is our fate as an undead, as a bearer of the dark soul, a bearer of humanity. This cycle will never end. Be it us kindling the flame or not kindling the flame, it will never end. That is the harsh reality of Dark Souls. And Miyazaki-san actually said that once you, if you look into Solaire's storyline, he mentions about wanting to find his own sunlight and wanting to become, have his own sunlight. Miyazaki-san says that when he goes back into his world after he helps you, he actually rekindles the flame. Because what's better than finding your own sun than becoming just like the sun god himself? Just like that, the god himself, entrapped by his own fear, has been vanquished. And now we stand inside the kiln. The kiln where the first flame began. Is this where we end it? Is this where we can finally end the curse of the undead? Or is this all an illusion as well? With these delusions of grandeur, thinking that we ourselves are more powerful than the forces of nature and more powerful than the dark side. It all repeats over and over. No matter what the middle is, the dark soul still remains. Guys, that was Dark Souls Remastered. I have thoroughly enjoyed playing this game on YouTube and getting to share my fun times that I've had with this game with you guys. Some crazy things, multiple mic changes, having to get a whole new PS4 random audio issues. Like right now, I don't know if my audio sounds that great or not. Mainly because I'm still learning this mic, and it's harder to tell with it coming from a PS4 without listening to the whole thing and then re-recording the whole thing, you know. But guys, I am so thankful for y'all. As of recording this, I saw that I have 97 subscribers. I'm about to hit my first big milestone, and I am just so overwhelmed and blessed, all thanks to you guys. It's all thanks to y'all. And I am just so thankful to be able to be a part of a community like my community that I'm trying to build, the legendary community, to be able to have a group of people that I can actually enjoy something with. What are going to be some of the next steps with the channel? Well, first off, I will be taking a break after these 2 episodes pop up. I will be working on the montage episode, or episodes, it could be 1 or 2 episodes, for the content that I missed, and doing some New Game Plus stuff, so I can upload it to you guys and kind of let y'all see some of the stuff that you may have missed. And probably I may even just do some random shenanigans, I don't know yet. But after I upload these videos, I'm going to take about a week off from YouTube, so I can kind of just collect myself and get prepared to start my next playthrough of Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. I have to prepare myself for that. And during that time, though, I'm going to actually be streaming on my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/legendary, I can't speak, legendary_nats. I have it in the description, and you guys can come follow me on there, and we can have some fun. Right now, I'm just doing a basic playthrough of Dark Souls 3 and doing some other games, because I am a variety gamer, so I'm not going to be just doing Dark Souls stuff. But some of the other things I plan on doing, once we actually finish up with the Soul series, it's going to be interesting to see where I go from there. But while I'm doing the Dark Souls 2 playthrough, I'm thinking about also doing another playthrough. I'm going to throw up on a random poll on Twitter, probably about 2 weeks from now, to see what other game y'all would like to see me actually play through. And then we can just go from there. But until then, you know, you'll get plenty of Souls content. I cannot talk, I'm sorry. Plenty of Souls content from me. And I'm very active on Twitter, so if you haven't followed me on Twitter, I'm at legendary_nats as well on there. And we can just go from there. But I've truly enjoyed my time playing through this game, and truly enjoyed being able to share my experiences with you. Especially going through the DLC for the first time. And I will show that Artorias fight. I have not forgotten! I promise! But I'll come up with a different build to be a little bit different.
Yes, indeed. The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is your fate.
This is our fate. as a hollow undead, the cycle continues right back in its circular motion. Guys, I am Legendary Nats. I want to thank you so much for joining me in this finale. I love you guys so freaking much. And I want y'all to have a great day. I'll catch you guys next time. Cheers.